Well, I don't think Michigan State got a home court advantage in a big old football field. I don't think that's even close.
Mm-hmm.
I think UConn looked to be just way too better on this, 65-52.
65 to 50.
That's easy.
Well, that's something. Well, look, here's the question, I guess, from a UConn perspective is who's providing the scoring for them?
They got 5 people on the court.
Oh, they do. That's right. Those are the rules. But is it on AJ Price's shoulders? The beat. I continue to say. I know I'm a curmudgeon about this guy because he's a nice story. He's apparently a good kid and everything else. And obviously he's a real presence under his own basket. But I'm not a believer in this guy being able to. He's not. Just to turn it back to my team, Pitt, he's not somebody who you pitch the ball into in the blocks and let him take over from there, especially against the physical front line in Michigan State, right, Horseshoe?
Well, I don't think, you need to rely on Thabit. I mean, you just can put him in there, and then he opens it up for Jeff Adrian.
But that's exactly. Robinson and Adrian, I think that that's where UConn has dominated people is with those guys, with the brawn up front that they just are out muscling guys. I don't think they have that advantage against Michigan State, do they?
I think Stanley Robinson is better in the front court than anything that Michigan State has.
Okay.
That's my personal opinion, and watching it, I think Robinson is that quintessential Big East player. He's that guy who's just going to cause a lot of trouble and support. I think AJ Price is the better point guard. Our numbers support that. I think Thabit, like him or not, is a presence down low. He might not get the points, but he's not needed when you have such a supporting.
The reason I say that, the reason I imagine that Thabit is going to have to be more of an offensive presence is because of what I said. I think Adrian and Robinson that Michigan State, this is the first team that they're going to face in the tournament that is going to be able to bang with those guys a little bit.
Well, we have them combining for 23 points. So take of that what you will. I think if anything, they're more likely to combine for over 23 than under 23, with 23 being the average.
All right, fair enough. And then I will round it out here. I will say I definitely like UConn to win it too, going back to my old simple fundamental cardinal rule, which is the better conference, and definitely the Big East is better than the Big Ten this year. By 4, though, for some reason, I know you guys say that the home court advantage or whatever, but it's a nice story there. There's something there that I could see Michigan State hanging with them closer than I otherwise would if this were on a neutral court. I'm going to go UConn. I am going to go UConn minus the 4, and I agree that this one goes over. By the way, what are we going to do, fellas? Are we going to put anything on this? What can we wager between us that is not money related?
Hey, AccuScore kid, don't bet with this guy. He don't pay him.
I'm not talking about money anyway, Ed.
Yeah, he sells me a song.
Oh, that's right. I gave you the Oklahoma Sooner fight song. I thought you liked that.
No, I wanted my own personal song. I got nickname status, which is nice, but I was hoping for the song.
All right. Well, listen, maybe the Ed could conjure a song for you before the end of the show.
Don't get me in your mess. Get me in your nonsense. You always got some problems and try to call me to straighten them out.
No, that's not true at all. I just like how you sing. That's all. I thought maybe you could make the theme song for AccuScore Kid.
Well, called me the other day, said some kids was out in front of his house with some rocks. I'm not going out there.
Here's the problem, Dave, and this is a fundamental problem here, is my pick for the national championship differs from AccuScore's.
Oh, really? Okay, well, we'll get to that in just 1 second here. So, all right, so we all agree on UConn there. And the Ed, what do you say about the total there? Again, it's 134.
It's going under.
You're saying going under. All right, that's the first difference among the three of us. We all have UConn and the Blue Horseshoe, and I have it going over. The Ed, you're saying under. All right, so there's our first difference there. Very good. And now let's move on to the second game here. Nova and UNC. Oh, it makes me sick. It really makes me sick. But anyway, all right, so Carolina giving 7.5. That's a lot of points to give to give Villanova, I guess, but I just can't imagine them hanging with this team on the interior. They did it with DeJuan Blair, though. How do you see this one going, the Ed? And the total, by the way, 159.5.
Well, that was ridiculous. You said you're trying to compare North Carolina to Pittsburgh.
I think, well, listen, it's all about matchups, as you know, and that's what Pitt, there was no worse matchup in the field for Pitt than Villanova because of those quick and physical guards that they have that could slow down what Pitt does. And actually, as we saw, they could continue, they consistently were out quick in Pitt. But I think that's the same thing. Carolina, if there's one team in the field that would have given the Tar Heels some trouble, it would be DeJuan Blair and company. Villanova doesn't have enough to compete with them on the interior. What do you say, the Ed?
I say you're crazy. But listen.
I'm listening.
Besides being not knowing what you're talking about, I'm going to say in this game right here, North Carolina, this Ty Lawson, this kid is exceptional, missionable, you know? I mean, the guy is like the best. Probably think that he's better than that Blake Griffin kid. That Blake Griffin ain't even going to be no good in the pros.
Oh, stop it.
Listen, what?
Yeah, Blake Griffin is certainly, well, he's going to be the first overall pick, that's for sure.
I don't care. So what? That don't mean nothing. Kwame Brown was the first overall pick.
Touche.
Listen, North Carolina, they got the best talent around, you know? If they would have been healthy all year and really tried, because they didn't really try, they would have been undefeated. I think this game, 93-67, North Carolina.
Wow.
I mean, they hit them with so many lefts that the other team begs for a right. That's how they do.
An abrupt and harsh ending to the Villanova Cinderella story. That's really people. How ridiculous is it that people keep talking about Villanova in comparison to 85, as though this powerhouse 3 seed is at all comparable with that team that Harold Jensen and company. Anyway, so all right, so that's going over, right? The Ed, is my math correct?
I'm thinking. I bet you with like 8 minutes left, referee Richard Steele jumps in and stops the game.
Oh, I didn't know he was working the Final Four this year. That's cool. All right, so you're going Carolina in a huge blowout, and that's over the 159.5, right?
I'm 93-67, 160.
There you go. How about that, Ed? Very nice. So you're saying UNC in the over, and what do you say, Horseshoe?
Well, we took a look at this game, of course, and we have to factor in all of Villanova's whole season versus North Carolina's whole season. In that situation, North Carolina was winning by an average of 7 points. If we stripped down Villanova's losses, all right, and just took away all their losses and resimulated with the games where they won, we have North Carolina winning by only an average of 2 points. So based on the fact that Villanova,
I don't know what you mean. I'm not sure I follow what.
Villanova is a 7-point underdog in our simulations, largely because they threw out a lot of clunkers this year.
I see.
I mean, just threw out some clunker games like West Virginia, and those games like that really hurt them in the numbers. If you were to strip down their stats and their games and only simulate this game using the games where they won, in North Carolina only the games where they won, Villanova